Can you? Hey, good morning.
Good morning. This is Smiling Pat Jankowitz. You're listening to the Jeff Sargent Show. And the dim one has just run to the restroom. He'll be out in a minute. That is Jeff Sargent. This is me, Pat Jankowitz, your pal, the man with the plan. Welcome to Thursday. We have a great guest today, actually. We have the beautiful, talented, charming Betty Beware coming in. So that'll be fun. You guys like Betty Beware? Other than that, Mark Hamill gets a star on the Hollywood Boulevard today at 11:30. Luke Skywalker himself. George Lucas and Harrison Ford are promising to come witness this event, which will be nice. Rain comes back this weekend. That'll be cool. I like rain. Beats snow. Okay, he's back.
He's trying to find his MP3 player.
He said he's trying to find his PP.
And trying to, so we can, okay.
He said he's lost his mind.
And
this is it very much.
okay.
But have you seen
I
Joe's
got this. I got
brain? You got a magnifying glass. He's like a punching boxer, this guy.
I was listening to Jonesy's jukebox yesterday when I had the MP3 player in my headphones.
He said, keep the show going. We don't need the song. Hey, Dan, we're on the air now, right? All right, Wayne, we're on the air, Jeff. Don't worry about the theme song. Hop on. Jeff, put in your headphones. We're on the air.
Oh,
the song doesn't matter. People know what the song sounds like.
Good morning. Why is my seat so low to the ground? Oh, God. Where the hell's my MP3 player? Oh, man. Why? This seat is really low. I need a booster seat.
I know you do.
What the hell, man? Why am I?
So anyway, the beautiful Betty Beware is coming in today.
Oh, hi. Am I on the air?
For the last 5 minutes.
Oh my God. How do I start a show without a theme song?
Already started. Coming in medias res, as we said in Latin cinema, which means in the midway.
Oh God! I just turned your microphone on all this time.
You mean nobody heard me?
Oh God! Only on the YouTube.
Okay. No.
Engineer booth.
Show.
Dan.
I'm Jeff Sargent.
Yes.
Well.
I'm not here. Did you unmute me?
Hey Dan.
Yes.
Good morning. Welcome to the Jeff Sargent Show. It just feels so weird to do this without the intro.
Good morrow, Jeff Sargent, as we said in the Victorian times.
Oh God.
Good morrow, Daniel Rupp.
Oh, good morning. It's a really big show today. We're having a big show today.
See, this is
really
what you were
big
missing.
show.
This is what you were missing in air quotes. Wow.
Oh gosh. Hey Dan, how do
Doorbell? I think our lovely guest
really?
is there. Yes.
Let me see. Answer the door. I think the door's open. Come on in.
Great Scott. We're not
Oh
ready.
my goodness! Look who's
Oh,
here.
here, my queen.
The lovely Betty Beware.
Holy Moses.
Oh my glob.
Well, we are honored to have you for the return of Daniel Rupp. Here you go, Your Highness. Hold on.
Everything's tangled up today. I couldn't play my theme song. I couldn't find my MP3 player. There's no music intro. And then I didn't turn his microphone on till now.
Stop telling her what's wrong
And
with the show.
let me tell you, we want to know what else is wrong with this show.
You think she's thrilled? She's saying, oh, man, I'm screwing everything up. Here's Betty Beware.
Okay, loop those headphones through one more time.
Whammo. No. Hold on. Let's see. One moment, Betty. Here we go.
Welcome to the Jeff Sargent Show with your host, Janky. Dan the man is back in the booth. And, oh, my gosh, the most beautiful redhead in the world. Betty Beware, representative of downtown Upland. I want to say, you know, running.
Here you go, my queen.
There's really no positions in the She should be running our town, our Chamber of Commerce.
We've discussed this before. Actually, what's great about Betty is you wear so many hats. You're a horror chick, you're a burlesque chick, but you're an independent business owner, and you've got a really incisive look at local politics. You know what I mean? I wanted to ask you, and my brother Donald told me this, and I want you to confirm it because you're the queen of Upland.
Okay.
We're not having a St. Patrick's Day party this year?
No.
Tell me about this. This is outrageous.
Right? I know. The whole community, I think they're going to spontaneously show up to and expect one this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's some
in Upland, by the way. In Upland, this is Upland politics at your finest. Go
right.
on.
Upland politics, everybody
The
starts
lovely
right
Betty
now.
Beware, just to make sure. Horror chick, burlesque chick, independent business owner, and keen, astute, possible politician in Upland.
Yeah, right. There's three seats available. You never know.
Well, there you go. I would vote for you.
Well, yeah, it's been going on several years now, and it's done really, really well. And due to some issues that completely didn't have much leg to stand on, they didn't okay the permit.
Wow.
So, yeah, so...
How effed up is Upland? I have to ask.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and that's actually a huge loss to downtown.
It is. That
Huge.
thing is packed every year.
Huge, yeah. It was the second most income-producing festival just under Lemon Fest.
Wow.
Right.
All those Irish drunks and they're not going to be open?
Yeah,
This is ridiculous.
I know, and it was great fun last year and everything. And there were no incidences, nothing like that.
Nothing like that. You know what I mean?
Right. So this weekend it's going to be in Lake Paris.
We gave our St. Patty's. Donald told me this, and I said, Tammy, Betty Beware is coming on the show tomorrow. I said, I'm going to confirm that we wouldn't be stupid enough to give our St. Patrick's Day parade to Lake friggin' Paris, but we did.
Yes.
Wow.
So yeah, and there was actually a meeting with the city last night about it.
You sound so cool in leather, by the way. You're hearing it.
Am I making squeaking noises?
Yeah, it's very cool. You're like a cop who's come to Kaotic Radio on a welfare check. Check to make sure we're okay.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, they had their excuses, and we were considering safety issues, but. He said, whatever you guys need, I'll make available, whether it be, concrete barriers, a fleet of stormtroopers, whatever it is.
I would like a fleet of stormtroopers.
Yeah, right? I mean, whatever it is. But they're like, just deny. Didn't give them the opportunity to do so. So, it's really controversial because they think there's some underlying fishy issues that's actually caused that to happen.
It has to.
I have my theories.
Wow. Can you share them? Or?
Oh, my gosh.
I'm getting this feeling that they're acting like a little board of directors from Leisure World, down in Orange County.
It's like
it's not a retired community.
It's like we're being run by a Krypton council of retarees or something. You know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's some council members that actually completely support it, and and they say it's not them, it's the powers above them.
Wink.
Everyone points other fingers when things look bad. Especially once they hit in the newspaper and everything. Because then the Daily Bulletin contacted me, contacted everyone.
You give away St. Patrick's Day. That's huge in Upland. You know?
I mean, it was a free and family event, so it wasn't just a bunch of drunks, and
although those are that can be fun too.
Oh yeah, right. But I mean, every town has alcohol-based festivals. You can't have a festival without alcohol. That's just the way it is,
it brings in the money.
Right, exactly. That's just the way it is, and that's what adults expect when they go out to do stuff.
Adult beverages.
Thank
you.
You can't have juce.
Yeah, here's your juice box. Welcome to Upland.
We've got Honey Boo Boo's Go-Go Juice stand right over here.
Hot scotch and hula hooping over there for all you kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, even cities like we keep getting compared to, what you need to be more like Claremont. Well, Claremont has these types of festivals.
And pull it off without a hitch every year.
Exactly,
Village Venture is huge.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
I'm really impressed the way Monrovia does it on Myrtle Avenue. Theirs is everyone is successful. Every time they have theirs, they bring
every week.
The whole town goes down there, and all the vendors do well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're closer to Monrovia than Claremont. Claremont has a whole college scene going on.
True. Yeah. The
Claremont is
demographics
cool.
are drastically different.
And one of our ex-mayors, JP, John, he said what we should do is just bring in some University of Laverne and fill some of those buildings with some colleges off-site. But that never happened. I don't know why we still have him.
He was busy supporting the Chronic Cantina at the time.
Well, yeah, I spoke in front of the city council about 2 weeks ago.
Did you
I
really?
started, doing it that route, and like, hey, these building owners that are here in downtown, you either, lease out your building for a decent price, or you can't just sit it there empty, for years at a time, because we have a blight issue.
Yeah. All the dark buildings on when the
Right,
upland days are there, it's half dark just walking around it.
Yeah, and we have great potential. Like, I don't know if a lot of people realize this. Matter of fact, I brought it out in front of council. Along the metro, downtown Upland is the closest town to LA that has not been developed yet.
True.
So, right, along the metro anyways, so like, what does that tell you? That and a lot of people from LA who can no longer live there but still work there are moving in our direction now.
Yeah.
And they want places to eat, culture, they want things to do, they don't want to live in a dark town, especially coming from LA,
Sure.
So, and I brought this up in front of them, we got all these new residents and stuff, they want to eat somewhere, they want to do something, like, why is it so difficult?
Second Street Second Street in Pomona is fun.
Right,
I mean, if the Second Street in Pomona along the Fox and the bars and everything. I went last week for. A friend of mine's band was playing there last week at the Dog Gallery, and I couldn't believe how jumping Pomona was on a Saturday night.
Yes,
you know.
Yeah, a lot more culture there and everything, a lot more artistic crowd.
Yeah, it was cool. It was art damage. It was fun. I mean. And you look at Upland, and we're rolling up the sidewalks at 5 o'clock.
Right. Yeah. It's time to go to sleep now. It's dinner time.
I mean, in 2 years, Upland's going to have a lamp later, and he's going to be putting out the lamp at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now, cut the brass tacks. We'll come back to politics.
Okay.
What'd you think of Shape of Water taking all the awards?
Oh, I know. I was
I saw how happy you were.
Yeah, I was very excited for that. I'm a big Del Toro fan, so yeah. Actually, Pan's Labyrinth is my favorite of his.
That's everybody's favorite. I think.
No way, man. Shape of Water. I'm a Doug Jones banging fishman guy.
But he played all the creatures in
he
Labyrinth.
played the Pale Man.
There's a depressing ending to that, though. This had a happy ending.
Yes. Oh, I love Shape of Water, no doubt. I mean, matter of fact, when it first came out, the only place we could see it around here was to drive all the way to Pasadena. So I saw it there, and I freaking loved it.
There you go.
So, and Del Toro totally deserved that Oscar. Absolutely, he's a hardworking director.
He comes so close. I interviewed him for Starlog magazine like 20 years ago when he when Mimic was coming out. He'd been effed by the Weinstein Company so badly,
right?
And he would slow the interview down. He couldn't. It was like a hostage victim. He goes, I didn't get all my decisions. I didn't get all my crew. I guess Mimic was herky-jerkily edited. But even with everything Weinstein did to mess with him, it was still a great movie.
Right.
When you watch that movie and the autistic kid saves his own life with the drumsticks without knowing it from the bug's going to tear the kid. It's a really dark, cool sensibility, and he's never moved away from that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean,
he stuck to his guns. Yeah.
And you look at the trailer for Pacific Rim 2, and it doesn't look half as good as the first daring, interesting one. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I read a story of him this week that he at one big celebrity party he brought in several cases of tequila. And they were all looking down on him like, you're just a horror director.
Wow.
And here he is now with an Oscar. So I think that's amazing for the horror industry.
I just kept waiting for the Oscar bait to clobber him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Lady Bird, Tell Me About Your Name. All the usual Oscar bait was there, and I thought he's going to get so screwed, and I kept hoping.
Yeah.
I mean, it won Best Music, and you know what I mean? It was great to see it, and I think the Academy Awards were March 4th or March 5th. Was it the 4th?
I think it was the 5th.
The March 5th was the anniversary of Creature from the Black Lagoon from 1954.
Oh, really?
So I love that he did his own version of it because he'd been set to do a Creature from the Black Lagoon remake for years.
Right.
And finally it happened.
He did come from the Amazon, right?
Yeah, he came from the Amazon,
What they were comparing it to, did you see like on Facebook when you get the YouTube flashes, they showed scenes from from Splash.
Yes, with
Yeah.
Daryl Hannah, yeah.
Yeah, it was opposite, mermaid and getting them to the water and protecting your new friend.
Right, new friend.
This one's different because women are crazy about shampoo water.
Yeah.
Josephina's crazy
Yes.
about it. You know what I mean? Women, I think what helped him was a groundswell of women loving the movie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, in a way that Pan's Labyrinth and stuff, it's still kind of scaly. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
I mean, and again, when the girl, you know what I mean? When they do what they do to the girl.
Right.
This one, you felt the monster is has emotion.
Right.
And he's innocent, I mean,
Well,
prodding him with an electric prod, and
innocent-
torturing him.
Innocent-ish, because he does eat a cat and all that.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, he
Yes,
does
yeah.
have his animalistic instincts,
But reimagining Revenge of the Creature as a love story is hilarious. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right. Yeah, and I saw a comparison too. I bet like Tom Cruise is the one he brought back the Mummy. like really, wow, that was a tragedy.
You made a spirited argument, which I thought was great about that. You know what I mean? I mean, they keep trying. They want to do a Universal movie universe like Marvel,
Right.
but they're trying so hard. Marvel did it organically. In Marvel comics, every character knows every other character,
Right.
and
Yeah.
they just brought that into the movies. With the Mummy, you can't they put Tom Cruise in there, okay, and we're going to have this guy come in, and he's Dr. Jekyll, and he's going to introduce the next one. It doesn't work like that.
Right, yeah.
People either go with you on this or they don't, you
Right,
know?
Yeah.
And I mean, Mike Mickey Hill, who designed the creature in Shape of Water, he was like, you can't force a horror universe. You either have that sensibility or you don't.
Right. Right.
And when you look at the Universal horror movies, I mean, people always forget that Creature is like 20 years younger than Dracula and the Wolfman, you know?
Right. Yeah. True. Yeah. I think this whole year has been good for horror. I mean, with it
Get
coming
Out.
out. Yeah.
It's
Get Out.
the
Yeah.
highest grossing horror movie in history.
Yeah, so
R-rated.
Yeah. No doubt. And I think that was a great movie as well. I think they did a good job with that.
Surprisingly, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they breathe new life in Stephen King, especially after one of the worst TV movies were ever made from it.
Right. Yeah. So I think the whole year's been great for horror.
Horror-wise, what did you like? Because you run Little Shop of Hairdos in
Right.
Little Upland, which is the horror-themed beauty parlor,
Yeah.
which is
I
great.
I do. Yeah. And now we do tattoos now. I have a tattoo artist.
Do you really?
Yeah,
It's
so-
not Corey?
No, it's not Corey. He has his own place.
Doesn't this
Come on, why would you say that when the guy's right down the street?
Isn't this insulting a tattoo parlor 2 doors down from Corey
Oh
Miller?
no, Corey's got his own fan club, so he's fine.
Yeah,
I just have one guy, so
Okay,
yeah.
because Corey Miller is also in.
Oh yeah, no, Corey knows. Yeah, we've chatted about it. Yeah, no, I just have one guy. I have Sweets in the back, so I have a tattoo artist back there, and he's really good too.
Horror-wise, what have you liked? Have you gotten any new tats?
No, I don't have any tattoos.
Wow.
I know a lot of people are surprised by that. I don't have anything at all.
I assumed you were going to take off your jacket and show us the Bride of Frankenstein or something.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, of course, just like with everyone else, I've been watching Netflix, and then, I was seeing a lot of ads about that Veronica. I wasn't impressed with it as big a deal as they were making with it. I don't know if you've seen that, the one that was on Netflix.
I haven't, but if you want to see scary have you seen The Ritual?
No, I haven't seen it.
Wow, that's why God gave you Netflix, lady.
Okay. All right. I will check that out.
Watch it's like a male version of Descent.
Okay.
And the less said, the better. It's great. What about?
Well, we're talking like claustrophobia in between cracks and.
Oh no,
rock.
that's a bunch of women overcoming a tragedy who go underground into a tunnel. Neil Marshall, who's directing the new Hellboy.
Right. Oh yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, at first I saw clips of, not clips, but the what's the name of that actor that's playing Hellboy?
Yeah, the new Hellboy.
David Harbour, the new one.
Is that
David,
what? Yeah, from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
He actually looks pretty decent. I'll be curious. I mean, I'm still gonna go see it.
Oh yeah, they did a good costume design on this guy.
By the way, Del Toro was all in for Hellboy 3, and when this happened, I don't know if you would have gotten Shape of Water if they'd said, "Yeah, I'll just do a Hellboy 3." You know what I mean?
True.
He wouldn't have gotten his Oscar for another God knows how many
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Nobody's going to win off Hellboy 3.
Right. That's true. True that. Yeah.
But tell us. So you were talking about it. What horror has impressed you lately? Reading or seeing? What have you been into?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think overall, I think it would say it. I know that's kind of cliche to say that, but it was it because you know, everyone, remake, but I always give remakes a chance because you just never know.
You have to.
sometimes.
You
yeah,
have to.
Yeah, and I was very impressed with it. You know, and then you have all these like amateurs who are like, oh, I didn't scare me. Well, I don't think that was the point.
It's sort of scary, but the
Right.
whole movie is a dreamlike feel, doesn't it?
Right, yeah, you know, it's supposed to be eerie and dark. You know, all these like, you know, younger generations, they just want things to scare them out of their seats all the time. But everyone's so callous nowadays, you know, there's not a lot left to that.
Yeah,
so
and Stephen King did not overplay it.
Exactly.
It wasn't everywhere. He would just come up every so often and be like, "Wow," you know.
yeah, right, yeah. So, you know, more like psychological and everything,
Yeah.
you know, so I can totally respect that, but, you know, other than something that just is either that or it's completely disgustingly gross.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, come on, you know, what more extremes can they go with Human Centipede, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeez.
I helped the mad scientist from Human Centipede 2. He got very, very drunk at Mad Monster, New Hampshire. He passed out at North Carolina. He passed out on the computer keys. I helped this manager. He was a little guy, so I picked him up, put him in a chair, and we rolled him into the elevator. I felt so bad for the guy. He basically fell asleep on a waffle iron. He was this little British guy. He fell asleep on the keyboard, and the entire left side of his face was
With a print on it.
Right.
You know, maybe we should have just sewn his mouth to someone's ass, you know. And then he wakes up with one himself. That's what
Right,
you get.
yeah.
You know, so, but horror-wise, I've been curious because, like you said, it was a banner year for it, and like you said, it's a great movie. It's
Right.
a surprisingly, it's creepy when it needs to be creepy, but it took an old hoary Stephen King book, and I'm going to go on a limb here and say a lot of the book is boring. Okay, I couldn't get all the way through it. The child orgy was ridiculous, you know, in the
Right,
book, you know,
right.
which happily they dumped.
Yes.
There's no longer a nerd lineup. The nerds run a train on the girl in the book, which it was supposed to be all empowering. I'm thinking, how the hell is this empowering?
Right. Actually, you know what movie I saw recently that was kind of eerie to me, which was surprisingly, was Annihilation.
You saw Annihilation
I did
from
see
Alex
Annihilation,
Garland, who wrote
yeah.
28 Days Later and The
Oh,
Island.
28 Days Later, the same director, right?
No, same writer.
Oh, same writer. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that there was the.
You liked it, though.
Yeah, it was very eerie. I mean, you have to be a sci-fi fan to like it.
But it's horror, too, right?
It's dark. I think. Yeah, I wouldn't consider it necessarily horror, but I mean, it could be another one of those things that could be our reality one day. You know, so if you consider that aspect, you know, horror is such an umbrella term sometimes. You know.
Yeah, true.
I mean, watching, you know, like My Little Pony and stuff like that.
Did you grow up with My Little
I
Pony,
did,
buddy?
I did.
What was your pony of choice, lady?
Oh, I wasn't into it. I just remember it being on TV. But
Jeff and
no.
I were bronies.
Bronies, hey, BronyCon's coming up, bro.
Dan,
Get your unicorn horn.
and Dan is a copper. Look that up on the
My
Urban Dictionary.
little pony.
I did watch the documentary on that. That's so bizarre.
Isn't it?
So bizarre.
Yeah, they're like, there's this big guy. They look like Jeremiah Johnson with beards, you know, like these big mountain men. Oh, I like these little. They're really cute.
Yeah.
By the way, the camera should
I like
not hurt, not you.
the colors. You
Why don't you
know?
put it on our guests? Nobody wants to look at your mug right now.
How long has My Pony been around, man?
I don't know. It's still popular. Though.
It's like a zillion years old. But
Yeah.
well, again,
Wasn't that early 90s or something?
But the thing is, how old is Snoopy? How old is
Right.
Mickey Mouse? I mean, every generation kind of rediscovers.
Yes.
I remember when I was a kid, my mother would run in and, you know, when you were like 10 or 11 and you were snarkily watching cartoons as ironic, you know, my mother would run into the room and just snap off the Flintstones because with 5 kids, she'd seen every episode of the Flintstones like 5 times.
Right.
Oh, yeah. They get
It's
sick
like,
of it.
no. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you watching Strawberry Shortcake again?
But I was, you know, watched Scooby Doo and then the Addams Family and, you know, and then obviously when the 80s came around, it was Tales from the Crypt and, you know, so that was my whole childhood.
Wow. Did you read the comics too? Tales from the Crypt?
No, I don't. I think I actually have a few of those. I actually have some Elvira ones too. So,
Did you?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Elvira Comics.
Yeah.
Has she ever been in your store yet?
She's invited though, of course.
I saw pictures of you with Elvira when you were blonde.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been with Elvira several times. She's actually a very, very cool lady. Wow. Very cool lady.
I don't know. Is she going to keep doing? I keep hearing every convention we see her.
She keeps threatening to retire. You know what I mean? And she's retired before.
Did she retire from just wearing that outfit? Is she going as Cassandra Peterson now?
No, well, the thing is, what she does is she'll go as Cassandra Peterson, and then when she wants to clean up, she'll wear the wig and the outfit, and she'll just clean up. I mean, when you see her in the Elvira costume at any horror con,
the line is long.
Oh, yeah. She has a huge fandom, so, yeah.
And horror hostesses are, I just did an interview with one for an upcoming magazine called Boobs and Blood. And I interviewed Ivana Cadaver. Remember her? She was on KHIZ. And what horror hostesses are a complete Southern California phenomenon. It started in the 50s with Vampira.
Right.
You know, and there were a bunch in the middle, but then Elvira, who took it national.
Right.
And now there's like subgenres as you drive across California. You've got Miss Misery up in the Bay Area. You've got Miss Monster and her Monster Melons, which are two round puppets that talk. I mean, the Queen of Trash up in Stockton. I mean, there's like different fiefdoms for different, and it really fascinates me because Ivana was the only horror hostess out of California to go national after Elvira. You know, and she didn't have the beer thing. Elvira's husband at the time is the one who told her, you know, when she had the Coors beer thing, which would have kept her national for years, the word was Elvira's husband decided to say no to Coors beer and start a local brand, Elvira beer, which
right.
When Coors is putting you in every Albertsons, every Piggly Wiggly, every Jack's Market in the country, you don't want to walk away from Coors beer money.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And the
thing I love about Elvira is that I got pictures of me and her when I had full head of curly hair on top of here.
Play some sad music.
She looks the same. It shows that I've aged, and she's still doing this convention and hasn't aged at all, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, she looks amazing, and it's still very sweet too. She's very cool, very humble for, the fan base she has. So
it's kind of neat to see that. You know what I mean? I mean that she's still. I mean, you'll see her in stuff like Pee-wee's Big Adventure as the biker queen and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool that she's got a base, and you look at her. Netflix is running a bunch of the modern Elvira episodes, and it's a great show. You know what I mean? She is very funny. You know.
Right. Oh yeah, it's still her same humor and everything. But. Yeah, she's going to be at the Monsterpalooza again this year too.
Yes, she is. Are you going to go? Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's the 10-year anniversary.
It's the 10-year anniversary. Yeah. Monsterpalooza is the greatest con.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
It's my San Diego. It's better than San Diego Comic-Con to me. It's just, if you want to see horror people, when you see people like J.J. Abrams and Rick Baker coming for fun,
right? Yeah,
you know what I mean. I mean, it's, if you can pull these guys out of their ivory towers to go. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Elliot and his family, Elliot, who runs Monsterpalooza, is one of the most decent cats, and his family is so decent. Elliot lived in Long Island. He lived not too far from the Amityville Horror House growing up and stuff. And I love that he loves horror so much that he puts this on. There's a handmade quality. You won't get out of a Creation Con. You won't get out of a Chiller Con. He loves horror, and it shows. And he and his family love the horror people, and the horror people love coming out for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Have you gone to every Monsterpalooza?
Yes, I believe so, since it started. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't like Son of Monsterpalooza as much as I like Monsterpalooza.
Well, it's a mini.
Yeah, they don't have the museum with the wax figures, I'm
going to go on the record here, Elliot. I love Son of Monsterpalooza, too, even though it's a smaller baby brother, too.
Right, yeah, baby brother, yeah. Yeah, but I also like Midsummer Scream and Scare Leia. I still like all those too as well.
Those are fun, but Midsummer Scream's a little small to me. And the one in Long Beach, I didn't think it was worth the trip. Oh,
that last one we went to.
Yeah, we went. I don't think it was Midsummer Scream, but it was like a knockoff on the 2. You and I went all the way out there. It's like, is that it? The horror con in Long Beach, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a Lovecraft con too. Do you have a thing for Lovecraft or no?
I'm not a huge fan. I mean, of course I know who he is, but I'm not a huge fan of it.
Well, Del Toro takes a lot from Lovecraft.
That's true.
Yeah, everybody loves Cthulhu.
Yeah. Cthulhu.
Salulu. How do you say it?
Cthulhu.
Bravo.
It's a Tulu.
If anyone's going to open up a dark realm, it's you, Betty Boy.
Yeah.
So have you always been there? Have you always had this tug towards darkness? Has that always been your thing?
Yeah, I was just born into that dark hole.
Are
Yeah.
you the 8-year-old girl who was telling your mother, it can't rain all the time?
Yeah, I just been my whole life, so it was only, of course, natural that I turned the salon into what I like. And it seems like the best thing for my business as well.
I love that because you've got a beauty parlor for goth chicks,
Yeah.
which is, I've never seen that. It's really
I
smart.
mean, we do anyone's hair because a lot of people think, do you only do Halloween hair? I was actually asked that. I'm like, no, we don't only do Halloween hair. We do soccer mom's hair too,
But cool soccer mom.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and
You could come out Mademoiselle,
right,
You could-
yeah. It's
I got my last haircut there.
Yeah, that's
Very
right.
good. In fact, I need to get it cut again because I was gone for a while. But no, very nice haircut. I was complimented a lot.
No, you smiled all day when you got your haircut by Betty Moore. He goes, guys, Betty Moore cut my hair yesterday. Yeah, I think you're one of our favorite all-time guests,
Oh,
Betty.
yeah?
Thank you so much. Again, you can do politics, horror, burlesque. Speaking of which, I heard you're thinking about throwing another burlesque show, true?
I'm getting the pressure. I'm getting the pressure. Yeah, not only from the performers that were in the show, but from the community. Because, the Upland's never seen anything like that. It seems like it's a completely other planet from LA to here, so.
Yeah.
So when they get a taste of LA here, it's nice,
Although, remember, Upland does have a little bit of horror history. Brian of Reanimator's Cotterill Jones lives here.
Yeah.
And Melinda Clark of Return of the Living Dead 3 was born in San Antonio.
Really?
Yeah, although when she became big on the OC, what?
Kaotic Radio.
Oh, there's a commercial running in the middle of our show.
What's he doing?
Wow. Dan, was that you're doing? Because you need a longer vacation if that's what you're going to do.
That wasn't a commercial.
No, we are playing commercials though now.
Oh.
It's at 8 o'clock. We'll have our
I thought you said at 7:55 or 8 o'clock.
right around 8 o'clock. It's
Yeah.
all pre-programmed, so there's nothing
No,
we can do.
I knew it wasn't you because you looked as hapless as the three of us. But also, Betty, the Elvira movie Lamora, Lady Dracula, A Child's Tale of the Supernatural, shot in downtown Upland. And they thank Upland. They shot that movie in
Wait, I'm writing this note down.
Yeah.
It was shot in downtown Upland.
It was shot in downtown Upland. It's a shocking. Again, the town is full of monsters, and you see, and at the ending credits of it as well, they thank Pomona. They thank the Pomona Heritage House as well.
Wow, I know where that is.
And Lamora was written and directed by Richard Blackburn, who co-wrote the original Death Race 2000 for Roger Corman.
Okay, what was the name of the movie again?
Lamora.
Lamora, like
L-E-M.
L-A-M.
No, L-E-M.
L-E-M. Okay.
O-R-A.
O-R-A.
Lady Dracula. A Child's Tale of the Supernatural, which is as pretentious as it gets. But it's a great, dreamlike, weird, scary, cool, sexy horror movie.
Okay, all right. I will definitely get this.
And you can also find it if you have Comet TV. They run it on Comet TV like once a week. Okay? Do you have Comet TV?
Comet.
56.4. If you have, it's an all horror channel.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Like on regular television?
Like on regular television, UHF.
Well, that's something Betty Beware needs to have.
And you do too. I mean, Saturday mornings, Johnny Sacco and Gamera, which kind of blew my mind.
I love Giant Robot.
Giant Robot's pretty damn cool. Johnny Sacco, of course.
Now, what else is famous in what about the little girl from Frankenstein?
My brother.
The little
Hold on.
I'm the little girl from Frankenstein.
Okay, when we were kids, after we moved here, Tom Hatton, the Saturday morning host,
Popeye Squiggle Contest,
got on the air and he said, he goes, listen, our viewers, we need the little girl from Frankenstein, and we've heard she lives in Southern California. My brother Don, in his school ROP program, worked at 7-Eleven, and there was this older lady who said, I'm the little girl from Frankenstein. She'd been telling them that for months. So when Tom Hatton wanted her, we immediately called Tom Hatton because Tom Hatton had the no.
Right.
I think her name would have been Karen. Donald corrected me on her name. So whatever her name was. And Donald, I go, Donald, do you think she's still alive? Because I'd love to have her on the show. And he goes, I think she was 66 in the 80s and a chain smoker.
Right.
So as the magic 8-ball tells us, results may be slight or slim, whatever it is.
Right.
So I'm the little girl. Janet. Janet was her name. And there was a Janet Gallo in Ghost of Frankenstein. So Donald thinks she actually might have been. So she goes, I'm the little girl in Frankenstein. So we hop out of that. We listen to her hop on our bikes. I'm the little girl in Frankenstein. Oh my God, tell us about being the little girl in Frankenstein. So we call Tom Hatton. And he goes, no. He goes, Janet from 7-Eleven. He goes, no, boys. No. We found the little girl from Frankenstein, but be gentle. She might be in one of the later Frankenstein movies.
Oh.
And I think she was Janet Gallo in Ghost of Frankenstein. You know, there was a little girl in one of them. So she could have been on the level rather than a delusional old lady in her sauce. But
Yeah, we can make a short film about the little girl from Frankenstein.
she would tell us, I'm the little girl in Frankenstein. And that wonderful rasping voice.
Right.
We're making her sound like Stephen King's grandma. You know?
That's so funny.
But we were so excited. And then when we found out, wait, Janet's not the little girl in Frankenstein. Janet's a little girl, possibly an extra.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, we don't need an extra. Janet, don't talk to the leads. Just go by extras holding. So what was the horror movie that turned you, buddy? What did you see as a kid that...
Oh my gosh. I couldn't even tell you where the beginning was. I mean, as early as I remember, it was definitely, Elvira was a huge, huge deal. I mean, I remember riding my bicycle down on 7-Eleven to go get my 3D glasses.
When Elvira showed, the Mad Magician. Wow.
Yeah, I would say that's my earliest memory. But that was such a big deal in our family. It was like a big family event, dinner and the Elvira special.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, her 3D TV episode. Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's as far as I remember, that was my earliest memory of
And
horror.
that actually worked on TV. You put your glasses on and you
Yep.
could...
Huge hit, by the way. 79-cent 3D glasses. They sold out at like every 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And it was early 3D in the 80s. They perfected a little bit of a way to do 3D TV. Now Universal supposedly come up with a better way. They put Jaws 3D out in stereoscopic 3D. And Jaws 3D, every print of it you see on AMC and everything looks terrible. It looks like someone urinated on a print. But if you see it in 3D...
Hey, Rollo, what's up? All the way from the desert.
If you see it in 3D, well, God, your meth dealer can watch.
Rollo's he was a big curator down here at Pomona Arts Colony.
Wow.
Doll Gallery, he built that place up. He's big in the art community.
They moved the Doll Gallery, by the way. It's like 4 blocks away from where it was. It's now by the Fox Theater.
Oh, well, yeah. Back in the old days,
It was on the left.
it was across the street upstairs in the
Right.
upstairs building back in the early 80s.
kitty corner from the old Comic Kingdom,
Yeah.
which was run by Rick, and
Yeah.
that's where Barbara Kiesel bought her first comic in college and became a comic book writer. It didn't help. It didn't hurt that she married Carl Kiesel, who already got her into the business. But hey, great moments in comic feminism.
I think we should make a Betty Beware statuette. Put in the. It's got to make it big. We got to make it like bigger than the Talkie Tina doll and put it in the display
Become
window.
Upland's biggest cult, Betty.
We could put Elvira on one side and we put Betty on the other.
She's an underground sensation. I mean,
I'm always thinking of things that's good that we could, because you got that angle that goes into the store with the display windows.
But Betty is mythic. She was one of those people like, well, you live in Upland and you're into horror. You don't know Betty Beware. And it was like, and they look at you scoffingly. It's like, who's Betty Beware?
Right, yeah.
But once you know you can't forget you. You know what I mean? I mean, you're an underground sensation, baby. It's kind of exciting. So.
I'm having, actually, during the Lemon Fest, I'm going to be doing like a little Monster Con in my shop, too. So I'm going to have all kinds of horror vendors.
Yeah.
Do you have any guests coming in from the films or anything?
Oh, no. Well, they're invited, though. They're welcome to come.
Why don't we? Well, let's try to hook something up like that for her.
Claude Earl Jones lives in Upland, and Claude Claude, besides appearing in, he's the cop with the severed hand in Bride of Reanimator. Claude is also Greasy Graham in the 60s cult favorite She Freak.
She Freak.
He also appeared in an episode of Werewolf.
Yeah.
He also has a pet Cylon. I noticed this. I was channel surfing last Saturday night, like 2 a.m. He showed up on Kolchak the Night Stalker runs on MeTV at like 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday nights on MeTV. And I was flipping around and Cotterell Jones showed up in the last 5 minutes of one of the original Galacticas. He played an evil guy who ran a town with his own pet Cylon. And I just thought that was great. You see Claude, he's this tough old character actor. He's in literally my number 2 favorite movie of all time. He's in a movie called Miracle Mile. And he's just this great character actor. And I love when he shows up in the horror stuff. I know he's not a big fan of the horror, but when he shows up on it, he always makes an impression. He's always skeevy, low-rent guys in these movies, or the evil cop, that sort of thing.
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
And it's like, and when you see Upland, as with Lamora, when you see Upland mentioned, and you'll recognize Lamora because it's right around where your shop is.
Oh, okay.
But I guess they shot it long before I was in California. It was from the early 70s. So they use a lot of fog machine and the little girls running on a roof and these badly lit monster men.
How you doing, comedian Marty Ross?
Sorry about that.
No worries, Marty Ross. Can't wait forever. But, you know, it's just great to see an Upland horror movie. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. No, I'm definitely going to find it.
Please take a look. It's also on Comet TV. If you have 56.4 in the house. Do you have DirecTV?
No, I don't. I just have Netflix and Amazon Prime. You know, I'm like the rest of the generation.
Well, okay. Do you have Shudder? Because I've been doing.
I had it temporarily.
You did that 7 days, right?
Yeah, I
Do
had it
those play all
temporarily.
the old classics or what?
Everything.
They've got bait. They've got bait. And no. Did they take your credit card number, or were you just able to sign up for the 7 days and they would cut you off, or did you have to tell them when you were done?
Can't say I remember. I don't remember. But I mean, I liked it I think I got it during October, so you know they had a lot of stuff.
Really smart. Yeah. They've been offering bait on the free week, and they're showing Bait, this cool Australian movie about a 12-foot great white shark. A tsunami hits Australia, even though they hide that in all the ads. They want you to make it think it's an American movie. A 12-foot shark cruises into a grocery store, and everybody's on the higher shelves while the shark is trying to knock you off and eat you.
Right.
And I've been lusting for this movie. I've been hoping it would show up on Netflix. And I've been trying to, like you said, hold off on getting the 7 days until it's like, when it's horror Christmas, when it's like Halloween.
Right, yeah.
Then they show everything, you know?
Right, yeah, of course, and all the classics and stuff. Like the VHS days were my favorite, so.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, another reason on one of the other channels, besides Prime, do you get, there's Hulu?
Hulu, Netflix, Prime.
Hulu has, there was one horror movie I never caught, always wanted to see. The original House and Sorority Row from the 80s.
Right.
It's one of your better girls running around a murder mansion with a head. There's a head in the toilet, which is it was one of the first.
In nightgowns, right?
Yeah,
Daphnis
feathers.
nightgowns. But it's hot and it's crazy, and like half the cast went on the big TV careers. You know what I mean? I mean, the mom. It's fun to see the mom from Arachnophobia as the young hottie running from the monster. Right. You know what I mean? I mean. What? I thought. Why would you flip off Betty Beware?
I'm gonna hook. I'm setting this here.
Betty's one of our favorite guests. You do not.
I'm putting this here while I get my coffee.
He's making use of his, his
Okay,
hand.
when you do, punch up another one out of it for me, will you?
I'll think about it.
Oh, that hurts. I will carry on without you, as will Betty. We'll soldier on together. But you can't remember what show, book, or movie really influenced you as a little girl?
No, I mean, I remember even Tales from the Dark Side I'd watch, but I'd say the earliest is definitely everything Elvira.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
I remember.
you're a product of the 80s, baby. That's
yeah,
what you, wow.
Yeah, definitely.
And you remember Elvira being your jam. You think that's where it started?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then, matter of fact, the first time I even saw her, it was totally by accident. I didn't even know she was going to be there. I was I used to shoot professional photography, and I was shooting the Viva Las Vegas.
The View, the View, the skyline, not the horrible women on the midday show.
No. It's in Vegas. It's called Viva Las Vegas, the big burlesque event.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I was shooting that, and I was right by the stage, and they introduced Elvira coming out. So of course I think it's an impersonator.
Yeah.
And then she comes walking out. I was completely just, for once speechless because, she's, I think for me, my original, where it all began. So I was just shocked, and it was actually her. So it was just a really cool moment.
Wow.
Yeah. But then of course since then, several conventions and stuff, I've got to actually see her and talk with her,
When did you start burlesque? When did you start doing burlesque? Because there's a lot of horror fans in burlesque. The great Chris Beyond,
Yes.
I covered for Fangoria. I never knew about this horror subculture burlesque shows until I think for Fangoria I covered one of his famous monster girls of Filmland, and I just thought it was terrific.
Well, it's post-divorce, so I've been divorced 8 years, so it's probably been, 7 years or so.
Wow,
like
so it's kind of liberating, huh?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Very cool.
And you started off as a performer, started off blonde, right?
I did,
Yeah, I saw the blonde.
Yeah.
Jeff ran a bunch of blonde pictures of you in our teaser for you appearing today.
Yeah. I
Was that
blonde
real
for many
blonde
years.
hair or a wig?
It was a hard toss-up. I just picked my favorite one.
Right, of course, right? Yeah, I got tired of the blonde. I just figured, I was blonde all my
The
life.
red, I just
So
love
blonde
the
is your
red.
natural color.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
It wasn't one time, yeah.
Let's say she's naturally red right
Yeah.
now.
We'll go with that. Yeah. I thought you were a redhead. That shocks me.
Yeah, well, redheads do rule the world,
But your eyebrows are dark too. Usually blondes have blonde eyebrows.
Yeah, I mean, once I got older, I've definitely gotten darker and grayer now.
Oh,
Yeah.
shut up.
Like the rest of us, but
False modesty.
yeah. But I'm done with the blonde. I think I prefer staying red now. So, and then everyone else seems to like it. So
It looks good. It
yeah.
looks cool.
Yeah, thank you. They said it's more my personality. So
Oh, there you go. And
Yes.
yeah.
speaking of which, sign up for Popcorn. You can get that off of Netflix. Off of I just found a channel called Popcorn and just added it. It's out of Netflix, out of whatever Prime. What did you say?
Amazon Prime?
Amazon Prime. One of the channels they offer is Popcorn. It's free. And they had Bad Taste by Peter Jackson, Suspiria, a bunch of old Argento, a bunch of 80s stuff.
Okay, Popcorn. All right, yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Okay,
And I mean, Curtains. I've never seen Curtains. I'm going to watch Curtains tonight. It's this 80s slasher movie about a bunch of girls being stalked by somebody in a mask, of course.
right, yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean that's my favorite era, of course. Did you? I don't know if you. Recently, it's no longer there now, but it was an installation they had at the Mystic Museum where it was the VHS.
The Bearded
flashback.
Lady, yes. One of my friends helped set that up. And
Yeah, that was pretty cool. They had that because when you walked in, it felt like you were back in the VHS days. It was pretty cool.
we do horror trivia down there. A bunch of horror filmmakers and journalists and all that. We all get together in the back of like once a month. We all get together in the back of some shop in Burbank. I'm blanking on the title. It's a great place. Out of the Blast from the Past.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And we all get in the back and you do horror trivia. We have different teams. I'm on the Hills Have Thighs, but there's also Tokyo Gore Police. Named after the fine Jim Wynorski movie shot in Big Bear. But we all get together. It's kind of a horror thing, and they were really pushing the VCR, slashback. And before that, some damaged art students had put on one. Did you ever do the Jerry Maguire Museum? The two best-selling movies on VCR were Titanic and Jerry Maguire.
Interesting.
And so what they did down on the street on I think it was on Sunset, they opened a fake video store that was Jerry Maguire was playing on the they had two TVs playing Jerry Maguire at all times. the clerks are wearing Rent Jerry Maguire buttons.
Right.
And every movie on the shelf was Jerry Maguire because everyone at every blowout would find every garage sale people were out would find copies of Jerry Maguire.
Oh, yeah.
So the store was nothing but wall to wall. There was like 3,000 Jerry Maguire videotapes. And you would come in and you would pose with a Jerry Maguire standee or in front of a shelf full of Jerry Maguires. It was amazing. And in the window, they set it up like it was a fake video store. In the window, it says, half price Thursday nights, show me the money. And it was all Jerry Maguire, and it was so popular. It ran for 6 months. People walk in to take pictures in the Jerry Maguire VCR, the Jerry Maguire
like
video
a
store.
photo op museum.
It was amazing, yeah. And
the social media, that's all about that. What it is getting on that photo of wherever it is.
And it was amazing because we had an addition down the street, and it's like, my brother's like, no, we have to go to the Jerry Maguire Museum.
Yeah.
It's like Jerry Maguire Museum, but he was right. I mean, the standees, the nonstop playing. And so when they did the Slashback weekend, when they made everything look like an old 80s video store, because that's where we all got a love of horror. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I remember my grandma visiting, and when I was a kid, and everyone's watching Dr. Detroit, and you're waiting for the family to go to bed because your brothers and you have rented Humanoids in the Deep, and we're waiting for an empty room so we can watch it, even though we have to turn down the screaming. It's a great movie. So
right.
It's sort of Shape of Water times.
Right.
What was Betty Beware's first burlesque show? Where was that at? Where was your debut?
Brea. No, Long Beach.
Long Beach.
Long Beach. Yes, I take that back. Long Beach at D Piazza's.
Really?
Oh, I was. Oh my God! I just saw a band called the Regulators. I was there Sunday.
What a tiresome hipster you are.
Piazza.
You have never heard of the place.
They got
yeah.
They got the stage kind of. You go in the bar, and then it's way in the corner there.
What did you burlesque as, Betty?
I did a song, Pussy Liquor from Rob Zombie.
Wow, Pussy Liquor, which was also your opening theme last time you were on the show.
Was it?
Yeah, we played Pussy Liquor when you came out.
Oh, wow.
Was it? Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
by Rob Zombie.
It's like I don't even get to do much. I produced the show and everything, but since I bought the business and everything, it's been tough, getting out there and performing again. I mean, I still keep in contact with all, the community and everything.
Heavy wears the head heavy is the head that wears the crown, huh?
Yeah, but I do miss it. That's,
You gotta do it, buddy. I mean, you started this thing,
right?
Yeah.
And then you see girls like Scarlet Letter and Fever Blister, and even if they're producing the show, they'll still jump out there. You have to as well.
Yeah.
Now, Monster Palooza, were you there? What was it? Remember we saw the horror themed burlesque show at Monster Palooza after it closed. There was
Mad Monster
a burlesque, a burlesque show after the convention.
2 minutes to break, by the way. Dan warns us. So Dan, at 8:55 or 8:50.
Our clocks are probably different.
Okay, because I thought Dutchie said it was 8:55, which would give us 5 minutes, but the commercials.
My clock shows 7:49.
Okay. Oh, all right then.
Dave Ivy's waves at you.
Hey, Dave Ivy. Dave Ivy was helped the Michigan horror host The Ghoul.
The Ghoul Show, yes.
Which is where I remember meeting Sam Raimi when I was a kid. Sam Raimi was like a bored 20-something at the mall. 20, and he was working on Raimi curtains, and his parents. He was smoking. His aunt and uncle ran Raimi's curtains at the Lakeside Mall, which is the only mall. Eminem still goes to. There's a in Michigan. There's a Rolling Stone profile where a bloated Eminem walks Rolling Stone through the Lakeside Mall, which used to be the futuristic mall. Now it's a rundown mall. Dave Ivy would do the frog puppet on the local horror show, and he would also do the cartoons, and he would do all the graphics. And that was where Dave Ivy also directed a commercial, a Raiders of the Lost Ark parody starring a then young Bruce Campbell at the same time he was making Evil Dead.
Wow.
Which is kind of amazing. Dave Ivy has Michigan history right there. You know what I mean? I mean, what's your top 3 horror films, Betty?
Oh, that's always a difficult question because there's so many different genres of horror. I mean, and I like so many different kinds. I can't even name that.
You're on a desert island. Coconuts keep hitting you in your beautiful head. What do you put into the wooden VCR you built? What 3 movies? Horror movies.
You know what? I think what stands the test of time is The Exorcist. It's kind of stand the test of time.
Are we on break, Dan?
In 10 seconds.
Okay.
But we can
Hold
still
that thought.
go on
Okay.
live.
Oh, yeah. Keep talking. Okay, Exorcist holds the test of time, right?
But I mean, I also like, the comedy ones, like, Young Frankenstein, and I mean, gosh, there's just so many. I couldn't even name top ones. It's too difficult,
And then there's horror musical, Little Shop of Horrors.
Right.
By the way, I
I
just
would
saw.
love to see a life-size
Audrey.
Audrey in the shop.
That would be
Oh,
cool.
my God.
Have you seen
we
Have you seen Repo the Genetic Opera yet?
Yes, I was wearing the shirt yesterday.
Were you really?
Yeah, yeah.
I just saw it for the first time. It's actually pretty great.
Yeah.
We need to mute everybody. 'Cause
Oh.
you hear us right now. We're playing the commercials.
Okay.
So just mute them. So
Can't talk over the. Holy hell. There we go. After that obscene profit. There we go. There we go. After that obscene profit margin, the terrible trio have returned. Our guest, the lovely and awesome Betty Beware, Little Upland's own goth goddess.
that is our 1-year anniversary present. We get to play commercials now.
Wow. Okay. Our 1-year anniversary present is commercials that automatically rip into the show like a knife. So we have to be prepared to roll with it and deal with it.
Yeah, Roy Brewster says, Dan, go back to your room. That was Roy from the Roy and Jimmy thing.
Well, Jimmy did tell me when I wished him a happy birthday and I thanked him for being our Dan rep for the day.
Yeah.
He wrote, normally I would kick someone's ass for a compliment like that.
I'm a nice guy. Shut up. I can.
I love you, Dan. I appreciate you. I don't know what these two think of you, but I always love and appreciate you, Daniel. She cut your hair, so she's not all bad.
just don't push the wrong buttons.
That's an imitation of our station manager, Dutchie.
What? I didn't say no. That was just an English accent.
I would like to welcome you all to tomorrow's The Pat Jankowitz Show. Jeff is about to suffer an untimely demise.
No, we want to thank everybody here. We've got our new Kit. Who's our new guy? Kit. Our buddy Kit, who's really making the promotions on the webpage and making new graphics and stuff and advertising.
God, what a suck-up you are.
For the station. He's doing this for us. You're damn right.
Jeff sounds like somebody at Jonestown. Jim Jones is out for us.
To make this place function right a lot better. Thank you.
Very difficult.
Listen,
it's not easy putting a show together. It's
the things he does for us here in Waco, Texas.
It's not over. After the show, I've got to bust my balls and get our guests on here.
Both of them or just one?
And both of them, man. I got it all day long, going back and forth with people, getting them on. But it was great because going downtown, all I got to do is just walk down the sidewalk and see Betty Beware.
You literally ran into her, He's staring into her windows.
Would you please come in and save the show tomorrow? And
she willingly let him violate the restraining order.
And that made it a lot easier. I had actually time to work on other things.
Usually Jeff is in her shrubs.
You know, it takes all day long and up to the point of even when the sun goes down.
Betty has to shake her bottle of pepper spray. So like Pavlov's dog, Jeff realizes.
Rustling up guests to have on the show. Yeah. So, thank you very much. That's what I do.
Well,
yeah, you should try it sometime.
Oh, wow. I'm sick burn there, man.
Yeah.
Sick burn. Jeff's Jewish mother impression is now over.
Okay.
None of you appreciate me.
We covered her first performance.
Yeah, so we're on your first performance.
Long Beach.
Hang on, we're not done. She's
yes, and it's so strange because that's
your
where I
first
went for
performance.
The first time.
What were you going out as? Was it a horror themed one? Was it a normal one?
No, because it was just like our initial. It was a show for all of our initial like graduates from. I don't know. You're familiar with Kitten DeVille, who lives out here in the IE as well.
Yeah,
Kitten DeVille is an Upland resident. I mean,
Riverside.
Wow, very
Riverside,
cool. I didn't realize she was around here.
Yeah, she headlined my show that I produced.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great. I had the greatest performers. Honestly, a great host. Everything was just so cool.
Did you have Patrick the Bank Robber, one of Chris Pion's guys?
He moved.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he lives in Georgia now.
Oh, he's the one who left with Fever Blister then, right?
No, she lives in Ohio.
Why are all the great California burlesque queens leaving state?
I saw
no one can afford to live out here anymore.
There was a big group of them.
Dirty secret.
The one on your backdrop.
Yes, that was my whole cast.
Your whole cast. That was a great.
That's in our bathroom, by the way.
Oh yeah.
We have your sign in the bathroom.
Yeah, that'd make a great poster to sign. Yeah.
I had a great cast. Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow.
I think I had a dozen performers.
That
which is a big burlesque show. That's a big burlesque.
And that's the first one you ever produced, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it exciting?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or you drinking Maalox and throwing up the entire time?
There was a little bit of that, yeah, because there were some theater issues, but.
What happened with the Grove? Be honest, you're on with amongst friends.
I know, right. I just don't. I thought they were a little bit more prepared than they were about sound and having to handle all of it. I think next time I do it, I'd have to hire my own staff to handle all that.
Yeah.
And everything.
For your own sound crew, right?
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
Songs, queuing up the songs for each dance.
And familiar with the kind of the business and stuff, and there should have been some lighting in the back and done all that. And I had all the staff there early for doing sets and everything before for practice, and the crew at the theater was not prepared for any of that. So, yeah, it was a little difficult. And then I sold out the entire theater. That's 400 seats.
That's great.
Yeah, which when's the last time the Grove seen that, right? So,
yeah.
And then once everyone got there, they had them all in the lobby with no air conditioning.
Oh no!
It was so embarrassing, And I'm like, this is not how I wanted everyone to experience burlesque, because it's in a sardine box. Right? Yeah. So it was just, So I mean, it's great because I want to keep it in downtown Upland, but people really do want it back.
Wow.
Really do want it back.
That was a Valentine's Day show. You
It
put on, right?
was.
Wow.
Yeah. Valentine's Day fell on a weekend that time, so it was perfect. I mean, what else are you going to do on the IE? You know, go to Red Lobster? You know?
Hey, they're great. Those bread muffins they serve you are amazing. I like Red Lobster.
Not
How
as
dare you.
amazing as our showgirls.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's kind of cool. So did you ever do any, like, I know Chris Beyond does the horror theme stuff. Have you ever done a horror themed one?
I have. I've done like zombie ones. Everyone has their own flavor of stuff, you know. It's hard producing. It's hard to make money in this kind of stuff. In performance arts altogether, you know.
Yes.
It's hard and it's a lot of work and
Thank
you
you, by the
really
way.
don't make much. And, you know, I make sure I paid my staff well, though. That's a lot better than you actually even get in LA.
Really?
Yeah, so I took the hit on that, but I wanted the best of the best.
Well, and
Yeah.
you got them, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You're a hit show.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then, I forgot I'm producing an event in September.
Oh,
It's
talk
not
to us.
burlesque, though. I'm bringing something to downtown that they've yet to see as well, and I don't have to close the streets down for it too, which is
It's
you
a
know.
tax help.
Yeah.
But it will be on the street dressed as a Statue of Liberty.
No, because we have so many great new bars now and everything now, so I am going to do Downtown Upland's first official pub crawl that's going to be cosplay themed.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Tell
Yeah.
us more. What are you calling it?
I don't know what to call it yet. Maybe you can help me on that. But I'm shooting for September. So I have a few friends in the comic industry that I'm asking to come out and do some signings with. I might even have like a trivia at my place, you know.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and everyone can walk from bar to bar, so nobody has to like Uber from place to place. You can
Right,
just
right.
walk to everything. We have the new brewery there and everything. So
Okay, since most cosplays are superhero themed and usually a parody of a recent hit movie, here's your title: The Infinity Pour. P-O-U-R.
POUR, right?
You can have that one.
Right. Okay. I will mark. I should mark down my notes.
There we go. Infinity Pour. That's your top of the line title for a pub crawl.
Yeah.
And you get Thanos holding booze on the.
Yeah, and then I have a few friends in the 501st, the Star Wars 501st and everything. So I'm also trying to get a few like pop culture cars, like Knight Rider and you know.
Okay, well,
Time
make sure
Machine.
May 25th, when you're doing it in September, May 25th, go to the Paul Biani Library in Victoria Gardens.
Oh yeah, for the Star Wars Day.
Yeah, my friend Al Kalachi, the librarian, throws Star Wars Day, and you'll see everyone with like weird custom cars over there. You know?
Yeah, I'll definitely hit that up then.
Oh yes, I saw. Remember, we were at the expo. Remember, someone took a Honda, like a Honda Accord, and they had R2D2. They made it like an X-wing fighter.
Right, with the R2D2 behind the
and
driver.
It was great. The whole thing was themed. It was very clever.
And where was this at?
That was at the Long Beach Expo, but that car.
There was a couple cars. There was a lot of cars there.
But if it rains, they're doomed.
Right.
You'll have to throw a garbage bag over R2D2 and hope for the best.
But you know, there was a Knight Rider. There was Starsky and Hutch. There was a couple of those. A Ninja Turtle Mobile. Oh my God, that Corvette summer car was there.
I mean, you can always go by Frankensons and stuff and find
Yes.
cosplayers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, a lot of them are just looking for an opportunity. You know what I mean? If
Right.
you let them walk around,
Yeah.
they'll be there.
Yeah, I mean it's not necessary to come. You can wear a T-shirt if you want. You know, it's just giving it a theme, a fun
Yeah,
theme.
yeah,
you
no,
know?
you're right. You're right. It spices it up a bit. I've never heard of a cosplay themed. I mean, you'll see drunk superheroes and superheroines in San Diego on a Saturday night. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I remember that. Were you with me, or was that my brother Don the day Captain America was vomiting in the street?
Oh yeah.
So
Captain
sad.
America.
So sad.
Representing America, and he's barfing, and they're like
We saluted him as we walked by.
fills his
Yeah.
mighty shield up with barf and
It
has to
just
go
made
dump it
me
in the
sad
bushes.
because his red gloves are clutching the curb and he's vomiting. And you know, you'd see Mr. and Mrs. Joe Public on the curb going, why did they come down here to do this? And so I felt really bad for the spirit of America hucking his guts out in the street. You know, because the shield's he has a cardboard shield on his back and he was just vomiting in the sewer. Off the curb.
Right.
It wasn't even a sewer, you know. And, you know, you have the people riding around in the horseback carriage looking at a vomiting Captain America.
The tourists. Yeah.
And when I got a picture with Eli Roth that Donald loves. We went to one of San Diego's parties one year. It was a rooftop party. And there's a giant smear on my shirt there was a giant smear on my shirt in this picture with Eli Roth, and Donald kept wanting to get rid of it in the picture. And I go, no. Harley Quinn and the Joker were running by me for the bathroom, and half her face wound up in my shirt, and she's barfing just outside the bathroom. She didn't quite make it. But Eli Roth and I are laughing watching this Harley Quinn puker comes out. And I love that smear because as soon as I see that picture, it always reminds me of what happened. Right. You know, it's great. You know what I mean?
Amateurs.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many Comic-Cons have you been to?
Oh, my gosh. Lots and lots. I know a couple writers and stuff, so they've gotten me in. So I've gotten weekend passes. They're not there anymore, but, you know.
The writers?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they still go to it, but they don't get the many passes as they used to. But
so you got to keep running good stuff.
I know, right?
Otherwise, no juice.
But it was great getting those free weekend passes. You know, I just paid for a hotel, and then I'd stay there the whole weekend. So.
Would you dress up?
No, actually, I never dress up. I know.
We've never seen Betty Beware, Spider-Woman, or
anything. We will sponsor your look if you do Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, you need to do Velma. That's our fetish.
She's so much hotter than
Daphne.
She
Daphne knows. Yeah, Daphne knows. Daphne knows she's hot. Velma doesn't. And that makes Velma hot.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to dress up for my event, though, in September. So
well, there you go. From Scooby-Doo, and we'll.
The ballots are in. The ballots are in. Everybody who wants, raise your hand if you want Betty Beware to be Velma.
I want to go on the record.
Actually,
raise your hand, Dan.
Dan, what the hell's wrong?
There
with
we
you?
go. Okay, that's it. That's who you are. Yes.
Velma's from
have you
Scooby-Doo,
seen the show on Netflix called Into the Badlands?
I've seen.
I've heard that. Yes,
I've seen the Asian guy throwing the axes, but I haven't seen it. Any good?
There's a woman on there named the Widow. She's pretty badass.
Yeah.
So is Velma.
Yes. I think that's my calling.
Yeah. I think we need to push you more towards Velma. I mean, oversized.
Can you
glasses.
find us a picture?
Yes, I will.
Of Velma.
No, Velma. I'm not.
Come on, Velma's hot.
She may be hot, but I cannot see
no matter what Betty Beware goes as, if she's going to rock
Betty Beware's got Velma hair, too.
She can rock any character. So.
You can punch
K-Rock woman.
Yes, punching Velma Dinkley. Velma Dinkley.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm telling you, Betty, it's all about Velma.
Now, there's Badlands. It's Into the Badlands. Now, I saw the promo, I saw like a trailer for that, but I haven't watched it.
It's the Asian guys throwing swords in a world where there's no guns, correct?
Yeah, I mean, there's, swords and knives and everything, but
it's on IMC. How good can it be?
Right. But I know, I think it's pretty good. And then the choreography in the stunt scenes and stuff is actually pretty amazing for a typical TV show and everything.
Wow.
I know, but I just saw the Widow. I'm like, okay, she's her, and she's a badass. She's got both thighs full of knives.
Well, Velma's got both thighs full of skirt.
Oh my god!
She rocks the skirt, man.
We won't stop.
A skirt and a turtleneck. That's how rad Velma is. I'm telling you.
Turtleneck.
In a turtleneck. She's sexy in a turtleneck. Velma Dinkley, you get no props. Sadly.
Yeah, really, that would be my only option is Velma.
Velma Dinkley, baby. Come on, do it for us.
And she wears a bathing suit. She still has the sweater collar on her neck.
I love Velma. Come on. You gotta love Velma.
And she's so smart.
She's smart. Daphne overdoes it. Velma, there we go.
Yeah.
Wow, not bad.
Nerd.
She looks like true.
What universe am I?
She looks like Black Widow getting her hair done.
Let me see. Oh, please, yes, do it.
Velma Dinkley it is.
Betty will do this
The
character
tribunal-
better than the character herself.
The tribunal has spoken. Velma Dinkley. Punch her up. DIN.
I'll wear the bathing suit with the turtleneck then.
Beautiful. Thank you.
It's like the golden bikini of Princess Leia for Velma, right?
Of course, Velma Dinkley needs the sweater, man. It's Velma's hottest look. I mean, come on, Velma doesn't even try. That's why you got to love Velma. You know what I mean?
Now, are you speaking of the movie with her in it?
Both. Cartoon
or the cartoon
movie Velma.
Oh, my gosh.
They gave the sweater a punching neckline in the movie, which I thought was a little, it was disrespectful to Velma. And as much as I love James Gunn and company, they shouldn't have done that development. It should have just been a normal sweater.
Right.
Linda Cardellini still rocked it, though.
Right. Yeah.
There was 2 in the movies, right? There are 2 different casts.
Yeah, there's several. There've been
The Freddie Prinze one.
Well, there- no,
Michelle
no.
Gellar.
She was but Velma was Cardellini was Velma in both movies.
Oh, she was.
And then when they did the Sci-Fi Channel one, it was an Asian Velma because I interviewed her for.
Well, they had
The
one
Last
with big
Insidious.
boobs and the way
That
she
was Cardellini.
Okay, all right. Then did they do one with a small boob Velma?
Well, they did one with a younger Asian
An
Velma.
A cup.
So, yeah, don't
she
be-
was the A cup one, right?
I'm not even going to get into this cesspool with you because you're going to get letters and I don't want any of them. Address your letters to that creep pig, Jeff Sargent. This is what we in the government call plausible denial.
Possible denial.
What the hell are you talking about, Jeffrey? You're insulting Betty Beware and all our listeners.
No way, no.
A cup Velma, come on.
No, that was the one that was on the TV.
Get out of the mud puddle, pig.
That was the one on TV. I was disappointed. I don't want
Shame
to
on
see
you,
an
sir.
A cup.
She's the pink-haired punk rocker in Insidious 3.
Insidious 3. That's her. I
Because
had no
I said
idea.
to her, "Oh my God, you were Velma," and she goes, "Oh, I always run into guys who love Velma." Oversized glasses and the mauve turtleneck. You can rock it. Could be yours, Betty. I'll call Chris Beyond. He'll start working on your car.
I know, right? Suddenly I get all these calls.
You need Velma, man.
Oh my gosh.
What was your again? When you were into the Elvira thing? I mean, you know, when you started with the Elvira thing, did you grow up or go as what was your Halloween costumes as a kid? We're curious.
Oh my gosh. I know I have one picture of me. I think it's the Casper, the plastic mask that you couldn't breathe in.
Oh,
and
Ben
the-
Cooper.
and the- yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
In the box.
Yeah.
The plastic. Oh my!
I think I have a picture of me in it somewhere.
And your sister went as Wendy?
Yeah. So I remember those definitely, and I remember being a mad scientist at one point because when I was little, I wanted to be a scientist.
Mad or otherwise?
Yeah. You know, but I remember definitely being into Halloween just every year. Just that was my Christmas. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I mean it's some other life. I was born around that time or something. I have no
Burn
idea.
as a witch.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't complete the task.
Wow.
Clearly.
Wow.
Yeah. No, if I had an option though, I'd probably have a house in New Orleans.
Really?
Yeah,
That'd be perfect for you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I knew that was my place before I even went there. Like I had some connection with it.
You loved
that'd
it,
be a
though.
great
How
place
long
for
were you there?
For Little Shop of Hairdos to have a salon down
yeah.
in New York. It would go.
Yeah.
How long were you there?
Oh, I didn't live there.
No, when you visited.
Oh, the first time I went for a week. Second time I went for about 4 days. So
It's an amazing place.
oh my gosh, it's in a town in
I've never
itself.
been. You've
Yeah,
been, Pat?
I have. The week we went, they told us the statue of the Virgin Mary, which is in the cemetery where Marie Laveau is buried.
Right.
It's the one where Peter Fonda starts calling her
That's
mother.
right.
They closed down every anniversary of Easy Rider. They closed down the cemetery because they were telling us they have these giant 400-pound bikers come with their big clumping boots, climb into her lap, like, bless you, like Peter Fonda. You know what I mean? And they go, it's a marble statue. How is a 400-pound man going to sit in her lap?
Yeah.
So, and I love when they send the beer with the XX for, they leave beer and wine from Marie Laveau in her
Right.
grave.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as an offering.
Yeah, and everybody loves booze in that town, but no one will touch Marie Laveau's offerings, which I thought was really cool.
Wow, everybody has a respect for it.
But it's also, that area is really dangerous after dark because there's a public housing complex. And a lot of ex-cons were working out during the day when I noticed when the tours were going through, you know, and they have to make sure they close at exactly dusk because they said ex-cons from that area would go into the graveyard and rob the tourists. You know, and what I loved about the place, I mean, everything. I mean, the 3-minute showers. You remember those where you're soaked to the bone and then you're dry in 3 minutes?
Oh yeah, from the rains. I was lucky. I haven't been there. Well, actually, there was one day where it rained, but other than that, I've always just got lucky. With the
How
weather.
many blocks is there? How do you tour the whole downtown like Mardi Gras thing? How long does that take? I mean, how many blocks are there?
You can walk the whole thing.
You can, and you know when it ends. When you get into the really bad area, there's no lights.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it's time to turn around. Yeah, it's dark there. The whole thing, it's almost like on a hellhole there, I think.
It is, you know.
So you got this little group where the party is, but if you wander off too far, you go to the outskirts and it just thins out. Is that
the
what
thing?
happens?
Well, the weirdest thing is like 1 block over, when because you have to go through some of the dark alleys to get when you're leaving Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of weird fetish clubs along the side.
Oh yeah.
And I remember this woman opened it was very strange. I'll tell you guys off the air. It's kind of creepy and weird, but kind of exciting too. So I'll tell you guys that story off the air. But I mean, the best thing is when you're hungover at the end of the night and you see all the vomit and blood and broken glass, and the street sweeper comes through to wipe everything. I think I've told this story on the air, but we went. My godfather is an Air Force general, and he was giving a speech. And so my father was in town to hear my Uncle Chet's speech. So my brothers, Steve and Don and I we just took a driveway, went across country and joined them because we wanted to catch my godfather's speech. But also, it was in New Orleans, man. And
Right.
my Uncle Chet was staying at the Harrah's. We were staying at a different hotel. But one of my all-time favorite book, A Confederacy of Dunces, takes place in New Orleans. And if you go over to the entrance to Bourbon Street is where the book opens, and they have a 6-foot bronze statue of the lead character in the play, and the lead character in the book, and it's sitting right there like he is. The book takes place in 1961, so this 300-pound man statue is right there at the front of Bourbon Street. And at the end of the night, there's the Southern White Castles. There's crystals. When you're kind of hungover, you stop at crystals and it's a bunch of sliders, and you eat it, and you're never hungover in the morning. It's really amazing.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, you learn something all the time about that place.
Did you go to Mother's to get a debris sandwich?
No. Well, I mean, the first time I went, I did all the, I went on the swamp tour.
Right,
I
right.
went to a plantation.
The gator, you saw the gator wrestling and all that?
Yeah, I did all that stuff, and then
Tabasco? Did you tour the Tabasco
I didn't
plant?
tour Tabasco.
Yeah, that's on your next trip.
I'm not a fan of Tabasco, so.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like Tabasco. It's almost like a white people
Oh,
hot sauce. Yeah.
I forgot the.
Yeah, I like the more authentic stuff.
Another hipster.
Yeah.
Tiresome. I was into Tabasco before it was cool.
Go ahead.
When white people got into it, I got out.
Is there a haunted abandoned zoo there, or
if you wanted a haunted abandoned zoo, the LA Zoo is here.
Oh yeah, the old zoo.
They showed poltergeists there about 6 months ago.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's the zoo where the Manson cult steals Starsky, and they're going to sacrifice him during the full moon on Starsky and Hutch.
Oh wow!
Wonder Woman battles aliens at that abandoned zoo on an old episode of Wonder Woman. You remember the one with Wonder Woman and the aliens?
No.
Okay, the Linda Carter series. The abandoned zoo was a popular 70s and 80s movie location. And now, every now and then around Halloween, they will show horror movies there.
Huh.
I guess the
That's
Rocky
fitting.
Wall. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
So is it still? They still have a functioning zoo in New Orleans, or what? Or is that being?
I don't think they have a zoo.
I'm
Isn't
not
there a
familiar
New
with
Orleans zoo?
Nope.
that.
No, but there's like a gator. If you want to see gator wrestling, there's a ton of gator wrestling.
Are you talking about the locals?
Is that part,
Yeah.
part of the thing when you get to New Orleans? You do your downtown Bourbon Street and everything, and then what else is there? There's
The Tabasco plant, as we mentioned. There's I want to say there's Viking China. What's the China place? Did you go by there?
No, I love the architecture there too, because
my God,
out
yeah.
here we level history, and turn it into a Walmart.
We do.
And there, actually, New Orleans is the most generational city there is in the nation. That's why there's so much tradition in New Orleans.
And all the corpses are buried above ground.
Yes, and they just keep putting more and more bodies in there. Yeah.
wow, I had no idea.
They kind of self.
So it's all sea
cremate.
level.
Yeah.
Is that basically below sea level and everything? Is that why
Yes.
It's below sea, and that's why when it rains in New Orleans, the streets are flooded within 2 minutes of the rain,
Yeah.
and you're soaked to the bone, and then as soon as the rain stops, the humidity kicks in. You know, and when the humidity kicks in, you dry up within closer to the mic, Jeff. Yeah, no, close to the microphone. We can't hear you.
Okay. I'm not talking.
You were but you were a minute ago. Was what you know.
Okay.
There we go. Very good Dutch imitation. But what else did you like about it, Betty? Did you go to Anne Rice's house?
No, I didn't go to Anne Rice's house. I did 2 different ghost tours the first time I went. But when I say ghost tours, it's more like a history tour, which
The guy dresses up in some. The guy dresses up like Baron Zamundi, the Voodoo King.
I didn't go on that one. I went on one with the vampire people.
Oh.
Yeah. But I mean, just the history about that place is so dark and things that completely go unanswered. That doesn't make, like typical modern thinking just doesn't compute as to the things
cruelty
that have gone
and
there.
the weirdness and you know what I mean?
Right. Like Madame Lalaurie house and all the craziness, and the body parts and it's just a dark place. You know?
But that's kind of, if there's any place haunted, it's New Orleans because the place has such a history and there's a little smell of rot, a little bit of rot when the rain hits. There's iron gates everywhere you look and the iron grates. It's one of the most beautifully designed cities I've ever seen.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, when you can go to a bar where Mark Twain used to have drinks, that's pretty amazing. You don't get that stuff here, and it's just amazing. You can speak of something that happened 300 years ago and the building's still standing.
Right there, the whole history.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Is it a good place to collect books? I mean, I'd like to get some books from New Orleans.
Oh, just everything. Yeah. And so many eclectic shops and,
Yes. I remember there was a place called Ruby's Diner in Houma, Louisiana. And if anyone read the Alan Moore run on Swamp Thing, he put Swamp Thing in Houma. You know what I mean? A real place there. There was a comic shop. We stopped, and I said to my brothers, we stopped for gas. And I said, hey, a comic shop. I'll bet it's all Swamp Thing because of Houma. And we walked into the comic shop, and there was nothing. And my brother goes, do you have anything about the Swamp Thing? And he goes, why would we have Swamp Thing?
I didn't know.
He had no idea it was set in Louisiana.
Oh, God.
We crossed to have lunch at Ruby's Diner. Great place if you ever stop. We opened the menu of the non-nerdy Ruby's Diner, and right there it says Ruby's Diner, Houma, Louisiana, home of the Swamp Thing.
Right. Yeah.
And the effing comic shop didn't know what the diner did, which was amazing. And I actually, I was under orders next time I went through to steal a menu for Len Wein, who unfortunately passed away before he got one from me.
You waited too long.
Yes. It's too long between visits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just such a beautiful place, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I would love to at least buy a property there where I could go there frequently.
Yeah.
Because I can't afford to buy out here, so, I got to buy out of state.
My heart bleeds for you, Countess Dracula.
Yeah.
It's going to have blood gutters, I'm sure.
Yes.
For procuring in the body, it's running out.
Actually, you know what event I'm going to that I think is going to be cool? You ever heard of Phantom Carriage?
I have heard of it. Tell us about it, though. I've seen the flyers. I've never been.
Yeah, they're a horror-themed brewery.
Wow.
In Carson, and they're having their 3-year anniversary, and they're having a huge horror event for their 3-year anniversary coming up next weekend.
Are you serious? Carson, home of the Sludge Factory. Are they having any guests?
I know it's a lot of vendors. There's a lot of horror show type musical event things going on. It just happens to land on St. Pat's Day. I'm not a big have to go party St. Pat's.
Oh, it's this weekend.
Yeah, so it's.
Are you not
Saturday.
Irish?
No, I don't know. Who knows what we all are, and we're all mixed,
Wow.
Mostly, I'm actually Czechoslovakian from my mom's side.
Wow. That's right. When you made the comment about I got out of it because white people are into it. Czechoslovakians are so white, you're pale.
Yes, we're almost see-through. We're translucent. Yeah.
You're still burning neighbors you think are witches.
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, I've never been to it. So, I mean, I've been to the brewery, which is pretty cool. So, but I like to have a network of all horror type people.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
That'll help you when you do your horror themed thing later this year.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I'm excited to go to this. It was only $15 a ticket too. So.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm curious who they're going to have. I'm going to check the guest list, but the idea of doing horror over Irish, you got to do St. Patty's Day, you know?
Right. Well, maybe that someone will be wearing green. I don't know.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I hate the idea that Little Upland doesn't have a St. Patty's
I
Day.
know.
So
I know.
is there any other neighboring towns that we could go to for St. Patrick's Day?
On the mic.
Other than individual businesses doing stuff, bars and typical stuff, I don't think anyone's doing any event. I mean,
Claremont does the one of the pubs in Claremont does it big. They have a really great Irish car bomb. You know what I mean? Where they drop it and they take the Guinness and then drop the shot in the middle of it. The Jameson's in the middle.
Yeah,
that's really good. You know, trying to think, but yeah, is there a big St. Patty's Day event somewhere?
I don't know. Maybe Myrtle.
Mona Valley Fairgrounds.
Really?
Wow. Yes, over at Fairplex.
Yes, at the fair.
Yeah.
Drink till you see leprechauns.
yeah.
Drink.
I think
That
it's
day
like
everyone's
$8
Irish.
a beer, but
$8. Oh, F that. Yeah, it's like the
have a few
$10.
in the parking lot. And then go
Yeah,
in.
exactly.
That's very Irish as well, by the way. That's downstairs Irish.
Now you've been a barmaid. I see you dressed up in the kilt when you were.
Yeah.
Where did you work? Was that Tilton Kilt or where did you work as a barmaid?
No,
How
that was at one of the festivals.
Yeah, I
Really?
bartended the festivals. Yeah.
about?
Yeah, I had fun. Yeah, I did last year and it was great. So yeah, I would have done the same this year too. But
Upland squandered they let St. Patrick's Day go through their fingers.
yeah.
And the whole thing is you don't want to go where they moved it because you want to drink close to home so you don't drive. You know.
Yeah, Lake Paris is over an hour away. So yeah. It's kind of like middle of Redneckville.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
That's not going to happen.
Although I had a great Scottish Terrier that was from Lake Paris. Good
I
old
remember that little
baby
dog.
Hamish came from Paris. He didn't like you either. All my dogs hate Jeff. I think they sense evil.
That was the cutest dog you ever had, though. That little Scottish.
He was a good. The problem is that mustache and chin beard make you look like Satan.
Come
Not
here.
counting the picture. Yeah, when Jeff shows up, they think the devil from an old.
Well, I saw your little smart ass comment
Yeah.
on my page with me and
There's a picture of you and Betty Beware. Are you? Greetings, Orange Julius Devil. What kind of a-hole greets himself in an old photo?
it's the Orange Julius Devil.
First
Boy,
of all-
he's a handsome young
Boy,
man.
you
isn't
didn't even put that part in. You just said greetings, Orange Julius Devil. Well, everyone looking at the picture is looking at Betty, not you. It's
Well,
like,
they're not going to know it's me.
Listen to the attention-starved guy who wants us to notice the devil in the picture.
Come on, you're not associating me with those horns, are you?
Only Jeff Sargent would sell his soul to himself. At a major discount, I might add.
Betty looks grimly fiendish in that picture.
Yeah, it's kind of fitting.
She looks like a winsome devil girl. Nobody's noticing the clown who wants attention with the beard and the red face.
A clown with a horn. How dare
Honk,
you?
honk. That was your horn, by the way. No other.
Oh, man.
Sad trombone.
Now, what about haunted? What are we going to do?
Yeah, when are you going to do something for Halloween? Can you
So
turn
what
a
about
haunted
your
pump?
haunted tours?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, we did 8 tours. I sold them all out. It
You
was
kept
awesome.
selling them out
Yeah.
because people kept telling me after the show they wanted to do one.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I looked at your tour, it was sold out, and you added a day, and it was sold out.
Yeah, it went quick.
It was
Yeah,
really
some of them,
smart.
like every time we added a day, it'd go within 24 hours. Yeah, so yeah, we hope to bring it back next year, maybe bigger and better. I'm hoping to do the Grove as well inside that because the Grove is pretty crazy.
The Grove, I've heard even from one of the owners that it's pretty haunted,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, Sam's there.
Yeah, Sam mentioned, you know what I mean? Sam the Ghost, right?
Sam Kinnison.
Oh, Sam
Sam
Kinnis. We got the master ghost of the thespians who have died.
Well, the weird thing is, I told you guys I worked at that movie theater, which is now a beauty. It's now a beauty school. So future employees of yours are. The old Krikorian theater was haunted as hell. You know what I mean? I mean, you'd feel the hair on your neck go up if you were alone in the projection booth. And we had a haunted theater. We had a haunted. I worked at the Upland 8.
Yeah.
You know, the Krikorian theater. And we had a haunted theater. I mean, Theater 8, I believe. Theater 7. Theater 7 was the smaller house. It was really weird because nobody wanted to be alone in Theater 7. And when they reissued Die Hard, I remember this ashen couple ran up to us and they wanted their money back, and they were the only ones in the 10 o'clock Die Hard because an old man came out from behind this. They thought he was a homeless man because he came out from behind the curtains, and he walked to the first 2 rows. And I go, well, we'll just throw him out. And she goes, and the woman grabbed my arm and she goes, he walked to the first 2 rows, like the chairs and the armrests.
Oh, he walked through.
And it was one of those weird things when you were alone in that theater. The theater would start fritzing, the curtains would blow. I mean, when you were alone in the theater, and it happened, you'd go in to check the air and make sure nobody would be in the theater, but the hair on your neck would just go back up. And they had an old man. We had an old man, like 4 or 5 different reports of the old man. I'm pretty sure I saw him a couple times. It's like, hey, we're closed. And then he'd duck into Theater 7. And there'd be nobody in Theater 7. It's like, shit, they're not paying me enough for this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He can stay there.
Yeah. You'd send the rent-a-cop. Hey, Jose, go throw the ghost out of Theater 7. He's here again.
Right.
So what are the most haunted ones up in downtown?
Downtown Upland, what are the most haunted?
We'll start on 2nd Avenue and then branch off on the side.
It was us, actually, for the...
Your store?
Yeah, that's why they kind of started at my place, because even years ago, before I even bought the place, the same paranormal investigators had all kinds of activity there.
Did Scott Alt come there, his crew?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. No, were you ever tempted to exercise the place or no?
No, because I wasn't
You don't
bothered
want them
by
to go away. We want to keep them there.
They didn't bother me. They bothered the rest of my staff. Nothing bad or evil or anything, but more like hijinks and stuff like that. But for me, I don't know. Maybe they think I'm one of them. I don't know. But I've never had an issue. Because
you told us the great story about Corey Miller making a deal with the ghost in his shop to leave his artwork alone, and he'd leave it alone.
Yes.
But that's why Corey turned down your ghost tour.
Yes.
I'm getting my arm hairs up a little bit.
Yeah.
He didn't want to rile up the ghost by bringing in tourists.
Yeah, he said he made a deal with them, and that was it. Because they kept knocking stuff off his walls.
Wow. And he said wow. But you said that story you told last time, which was great, is he made a deal. If they left the artwork alone, he wouldn't do anything to bother them.
No more ghost tours, but he has had his parties there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and then he bought actually those 2 buildings next to him as well. So he's got that whole area.
He's drowning in reality TV money.
So
that's
if you're bringing a tour, the ghosts don't want ghost hunters in there or what?
I guess. I think that's his own thinking, But yeah.
Well, so far it's worked for him. I guess they stopped knocking crap off the wall.
Yeah, I guess so. But for me, they come in with their machines all the time and do stuff, and they've caught all kinds of things. But
what about the places upstairs? Like those units that are upstairs above.
Paulie, because he has an office above his. Paulie, which is directly to my left of me. He's my neighbor. From Paulie's Pizza, he has all kinds of issues. He's been sitting alone in his bar before and keeps hearing footsteps running up and down. And he thought it was on his roof, and many times he's gone up there, and there's no one up there. If they're running back and forth in his office.
Wow.
Yeah, so that whole area. I mean, because we're talking over 100-year history there. I know I've had one person die, for a fact, in my place.
Upland is 111 years old.
Yeah.
Founded in 1906.
Right.
So you were looking at, what is the weirdest thing? You said one person's died in your building?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, in the 60s. I found the newspaper article.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, with the Upland Theater, it was some old man who died in a stroke when it was a market, because we found in the back room, they had like an elf face on the floor, which was, I guess, the logo of this old market when there was a Zodi's and everything in that mall. And the old guy would show up and he'd just wander around. And I mean, but the weird thing is, like, when you were upstairs alone, when I was doing projection work, you would just feel someone standing behind you, and your arm hairs would go up and your neck hairs would go up, and you knew someone was behind you. And you would turn and you'd see something weird out of just the corner of your eye, but it would be gone,
Right, yeah.
And I hate that. I've already told, in fact, I mentioned the other day, when my lovely friend Heather got married, we stayed the night for their wedding party at Brackenfern Manor, which really, this haunted bed and breakfast in Lake Arrowhead. And that was really creepy because you kept seeing stuff out of the corner of your eye. You know what I mean? I mean, it was just, weird as hell. You know what I mean? I mean,
What's the history? How many businesses did you research the history all the way from day one from your shop?
Yeah, as much as I can find. It's funny because a lot of shops there have photographs of what their place looked like historically from the front, but not mine. You can only see mine from a distance.
wow.
Was yours
And the famous 1906 picture with the muddy street and all that?
Yeah, basically a lot of that, the whole entire
What
second
was
Avenue.
it like in the 60s? Do you know? I mean,
It was still
has
a
that
shoe store.
department. It was
Wow.
a shoe store. That'd be
Yeah.
the perfect spot for. I could see that.
Yeah.
Having the kiosk windows filled with
Yes.
shoes going in. Yeah, like the old Kinney shoe stores.
Yeah, it was called Dyer Shoes.
Dire
Wow.
shoes. What a great title for a goth.
Yeah.
And I mean, the interesting thing about Upland's history is it's always looked like the Midwest, which is why they've shot movies here. And Elizabeth Taylor came and shot that TV movie Sweet Bird of Youth in the late 80s, early 90s. And I remember when some shop burned down there, and you'd have all these old 1910 Upland signs on the brick wall you never saw until like Anderson's or something burned down.
Atwood's, I think. it was.
Atwood's, very good. Wow.
Atwood's, yes.
Look at little Miss Upland here.
You could buy a nice suit and tie at Atwood.
When Atwood's burned down, you had some sign from like 1910 that
crazy.
painted on the brick. Being Upland, I think we immediately repainted it over it.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, and build something that ruined it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But Ray Bradbury, who was the Grand Marshal of the Upland Christmas Parade one year, and for my high school paper, my very first interview when he would come to Joanne's Bookworm of Upland, Ray Bradbury told me and reminded him he was born in Illinois, in Greentown, Illinois, in 1920. He told me Little Upland reminded him of the Midwest. He said it was the most Midwestern-looking town he'd seen in Southern California, and that's why he felt a kinship towards it.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people say that. We're very like Gilmore Girls or something.
Yeah.
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 Because it's a small, narrow downtown.
Well, I thought you meant minded.
Yeah, that too.
No, as far
Burn
as
the witch.
as far as the Chamber of Commerce is.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're debating running for office, I keep hearing. Is that
I
true?
know. It's just, it's like seeing a pile of poop over there and walking over there and purposely stepping in it, Like, I mean, would I be able to really make a difference, one voice as opposed to so many others, I mean, there's a lot of people that are just really backwards thinking.
Wow.
There's a lot of people in the town, too, as well, that, that really just need to pull their head out of the sand,
Very discreet.
Move forward. They just don't know that. They just want to keep everything the way it was 25 years ago.
Aren't you the same girl who just condemned them for building over the old 1910?
I mean,
No,
we can
you-
respect our architecture, but in the same time, gosh, you got to realize, oh no, we can't have beer in the street. And I'm like,
Beer at the farm festival, like at the Lemon Festival, is great. I think it'd be a great idea.
it's the only way they make money.
Yeah.
And if they prevent Lemon Fest from doing that as well, Lemon Fest could go elsewhere.
Are they threatening to?
No, well, yeah, they're like, okay, we're going to have a beer garden, which I doubt is actually going to happen. I'd be curious to how the weekend goes down.
Wow.
Yeah.
When for years it's not been like that, and then you can expect everyone that's been coming to Lemon Fest for 20 years, to suddenly do that. But
Yeah.
the thing with alcohol is, if there's a beer garden, there's not a lot of repeat beer buys.
And you feel kind of locked up in a cage.
Yeah.
I
Right,
remember going
Like a
exactly.
petting zoo for drunks.
Right. So Lemon Fest, yeah, exactly. People oogle us from outside.
Yeah.
But
Waiting
if-
by car. See
if they're
you.
not making their $250,000 profit on alcohol sales, which is what I heard the numbers are,
Wow.
if they're not making that, why would they bother? Because that's a big setup they put up there.
And the St. Patty's thing, where you could, the St. Patty's thing, I ran into my goddaughter Tara, and now that she's of age, we had a beer. And I mean, it was St. Patrick's Day was the first one. This is a couple of years back.
Right.
But we're walking around Little Upland with beers in our hand. It was kind of pleasant,
Right. Yeah. I mean, as long as you stay within the festival.
Yeah, yeah. As long as you're there, you know what I mean. I mean, and it just to me, it was really kind of when you have all American and stuff over there. You've got a bunch of nice little bars over there, you know.
Oh yeah, the bars did amazing there, so they lost out big time. Yeah, like even like our new brewery, they had all this merchandise made up with their logos on it, all this stuff. So a lot of people took a huge loss in that time.
Oh, see, that's not fair. You're not serving the needs of a little Upland. But Upland, I've always found has been gun shy about doing interesting, cool stuff. You know?
Agree. I know. I do feel like that scene in Elvira where all the angry villagers are burning her at the cross. I would just kind of feel like that a lot. Yeah.
Eating McClark and a bunch of other groundlings.
Yeah, but like, God, what is it? I just feel like I'm in a little wormhole as opposed to everyone else around us, Like,
Betty Beware is the City of Gracious Living's own Kevin Bacon.
Right.
She's come to introduce dance to the city of
I
Upland.
know, right? Yeah. That's what it does feel like,
It's time to get our foot loose, man.
Burn the heretic witch, preferably in her burlesque outfit.
Well, because we had that horrible Thursday market that used to be amazing, and then
it used to be great.
Garbage.
God, it was horrible. It got worse by
There's like
every
6
week. It got
people
worse and
there
worse.
every-
Yeah, tell
and
me
less
about
and less
it.
vendors.
They even bring that back this year. They're going to be hearing from me a lot. There's just no way because that
death by attrition.
dampened business big time.
They've choked it out.
Oh
though.
yeah, they need a professional to run it. It's just that simple.
Look at Village Venture in Claremont, and like you or Dan said, Monrovia.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And by the way, Monrovia did a fantastic New Year's pub crawl for like 3 years running.
Really?
Yeah, but
okay.
You know what I mean? You check that out sometime. Later Hosen and all the works. But to me, it's
I try to avoid that till my ex-husband's a fireman there.
Oh,
so,
well,
yeah.
screw that, yeah.
I try to avoid that.
Let it burn.
Yeah, let it burn. No, that is a great little historic town, though.
The one time Betty would cheer if a firefighter were injured.
He deserves it.
There you go. I mean, because Monrovia, they do the Thursday night thing, and then the guy who used to own the Grove, Gene Harvey, he used to own the wonderful theater, the Canyon Theater in San Dimas. And San Dimas was an amazing place for about 10 minutes, and they killed that. You know
minutes.
what I mean? Yeah. It just breaks your heart to see these, because Upland's a cool, funky place. You know,
it can be. It can be. It has huge potential. I don't know what it is holding it down, but.
What would you do to fix it? Talk to us, Congresswoman Beware.
Well, we're a bedroom town, which means, we have generation of homeowners that still fall under the tax bracket where they're not. So we're losing money on that. I know because my business is there, so I'm, I guess, being biased, but a downtown area of a town should be a real big highlight, a draw, a destination for people to come out. Like you said, like we're a town that looks like the Midwest. We got all these unique qualities, and we're sitting there with empty buildings. So what is that? Well, I just feel under the same theory of like if you build it, it'll come. They will come. If we get these building owners that they have to drop the prices on selling or leasing these out, the businesses will come, the restaurants will come. Then we become a destination. But they don't want to develop anything there. I don't know. I feel like we're the armpit of Upland.
Would you be willing, and I'll just tell you, I'll just ask real quick. Gino Felipe is a personal friend of mine.
Right.
Would you come and do the show with him?
Oh, yeah. Gino knows me.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah, I know Gino. We've mentioned your name before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gino's one of the good guys, I think.
Yeah.
He's the owner of Felipe Winery, right?
He's not the owner anymore. His oldest brother bought him out.
Oh, okay. But Felipe's has always been great,
Yeah. I mean, it's a popular name.
Yeah.
But the three brothers kind of had a,
as brothers do.
as brothers.
Right. Family.
Exactly. What's the old joke? Where there's a will, there's a family. Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I totally come on with him. Yeah, he knows me, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't have any issues together or anything. So, well, I'm not all city council knows me. I don't think anyone sees me as a bad guy. I'm just kind of outspoken, and I run the.
You're Kevin Bacon, baby.
Right? Yeah, and
you're
I run the social media for downtown Upland. I do all that.
Do you really?
Oh yeah. Which has helped us tremendously.
Have you met the new mayor, Debbie Stone?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is she any good?
She's a funeral director.
She was a funeral driver. Oh, she's from Stone Funeral Home.
Oh yeah, that's her. That's her.
You know what? When I learned to drive, when I learned to drive, I used to have to drive around after they finally got you off the simulator. We would drive around and around and around Stone Funeral Home. And I offended the driver and everyone else in the car, the driving instructor, because he was, after Stone Funeral Home, they'd want to drive by Vince's Spaghetti. And while I love the logo, I always thought the sauce was too watery. And everyone in the car, every day I'd come in and it's like, it's the Upland guy who hates. It's the Upland guy who hates. I don't hate him. It's just too watery.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and it's
That isn't obsessed with Vince's.
yeah. It's a local thing where everyone who, I love the logo. It looks kind of like a '60s Holiday Inn logo, but you know what I mean. I mean, the people who love Vince really love it, and it's okay. You know what I
Right.
mean. But it's not the end all be all spaghetti. You know.
I'd rather have spaghetti at home.
Yeah, spaghetti at home is better than Vince's. Bukit Beppo is better than Vince's. There, I said it.
Steve Moriarty loves Vince's.
God love
All
him.
right.
We love Steve Moriarty, but he's out of his mind because Vince's, like Betty said, I make better spaghetti at home.
Yeah.
Everything's better at home.
Well, nothing beats the homemade spaghetti
Yes.
sauce, you know,
True
especially
that.
when it's. I like it on the thick side.
But you can put some mushrooms in at home. You can chop up kielbasa, throw that in. You know what I mean? I mean, I like Vince's. I don't know. It tastes pre-processed.
I do like Polly's spaghetti.
Yeah, Polly has great food there.
Polly has
Yeah.
good.
Where's
good
Polly's spaghetti?
It's Polly's Pizza Pub right next door to my shop.
Really?
Oh yeah,
That's
Polly-
how often I come to Little Upland.
Yeah, and his pizza and everything is good. I think it's the best in the area.
I
Definitely.
usually come after hours with a pooping chihuahua, but I do clean up after her.
The sandwiches are good. The sandwiches
Yes.
are good. I like I said.
But to the mic, we can't hear.
This spaghetti is better than most places around town.
Yeah, he has-
I mean,
he's got a great
it's got a
place.
good sauce. Good, it's thick and zesty. You know.
I'm trying to think when I'm in Little Upland. It's usually when the street fair. I would usually just eat a la carte there. I'm trying to think the last restaurant, and this is terrible, but I think the only restaurant I really hit on a regular basis in Little Upland is the Subway.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
that's still there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a 1940s Subway. They have the sign there and a brick, and the rest of it's a brick wall. It's kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
Daddy-O's has good burgers. They're right
Yes,
next to
they're across
Rad
street.
Coffee.
Yeah, the Mediterranean restaurant.
Yeah,
down
Eden.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eden.
And Rad Coffee, I'm coming after you for a sponsorship. Okay, Rusty, I'm going to catch you early in the morning.
The owner of Viva Madrid in Claremont is opening up a place next to me.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Are you
gonna be-
excited or
Oh yeah,
suspicious?
no, because it was me, Polly, and then an empty spot there for like a year now.
Wow.
So
Ooh, it's good to fill that spot. Have
Yeah.
someone on each side of you.
yeah, exactly. So I'm glad that that's going to be another great restaurant. It's going to
And
be.
Viva Madrid brings in a big crowd.
Yeah,
Are
do.
they the guys who serve baba ganoush in Claremont?
No. This is all like Spanish tapas in Claremont. Really popular place. But they're actually, it's not going to be a Spanish tapas place. It's going to be like a
I thought you said a Spanish topless place.
No,
That
a
sounds
Spanish
awesome.
Wow,
topless.
That sounds
place.
promising.
That's what we
Topless
need.
place.
Finally,
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon here has brought a topless
I know.
Spanish place to Little Upland.
Can you imagine the angry villagers then? Oh my gosh.
They would burn you and then all the topless dancers.
I even when I
guys.
brought burlesque, they were all like, they wanted explanation, like, what kind of burlesque is this? Is this like the movie burlesque? I'm like, oh good God, no, nothing like that. And they're like, well, how much nudity is on? I'm like, well, they go topless, you know, like, haven't you learned history? This is like history, you know?
Wow.
And, yeah, I was just like, are you guys from another planet?
Okay, the part of the show I hate the most, and that's ending it. But unfortunately, with the new program, I have to, or else we're just going to
Wait, so are we ending at 5-2 or are we ending at 10-2? Because it's 10-2.
My watch says 10 to 10.
Dan, it's 10-2. Are you?
10 to
we end 5
9.
minutes early.
Oh, yeah, but
And
that's
we
not.
don't go by your watch, and we don't go by your clock. We go by the computer. The computer tells us when we're going to switch.
The computer.
The computer.
The
controls
computer.
To quote our beloved, beautiful Kevin Bacon here, sometimes you
Sark.
gotta say,
It's that guy Sark from Tron.
it's Sark,
It's
master
Sark
programmer.
inside the master control
Greetings,
plan.
program.
The MCP.
Dan is flying over to smash all three of us. All right, Betty, beware. Pimp the hell out of your shop and anything else you want to pimp.
Okay. Obviously, I have a salon in downtown Upland. It's a horror-themed hair salon and tattoo. we're located in downtown Upland, and then in September, I will be producing a cosplay themed pub crawl in downtown Upland as well.
The Infinity Pour.
Infinity Pour.
You can have that.
Yeah. So you guys will be hearing more about that once it gets closer.
Wow, very well done.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so and Betty, where can people follow your adventures on email or Facebook? I mean, on Facebook or
well,
Snapchat
my shop is definitely all over social media. It's Little Shop of Hairdos, like Little Shop of Horrors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fine.
And then I also run the Downtown Upland social media, where you can find on Instagram as Facebook as well.
Wow, very good, very good.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Jeff Sargent Show. We are Rapparoony.
All right.
Kill the mics, Junior.
Goodbye.
That'll be quick.
End it on Betty, will you? People think you're mugging. Thank
you for being so
awesome.
awesome.
Well,